Remote viewing surveillance probe shot down over Alaska, February 11th, 2023. A surveillance probe was recently shot down over Alaska. The surveillance probe is a cylindrical object made of a metallic substance that is silver grayish in color. So this surveillance probe is the size of an SUV traveling in the sky at medium speeds. On the right side of this surveillance probe, there is a device with the capacity and the capability of scanning the air, ground, and water. This device is a reconnaissance array for both scanning and tagging targets and mapping secret facilities. Underneath the surveillance probe, there is the deployable radar scanning array with multiple beam wave frequency transmitters. On the top of the surveillance probe, there is a type of a three-way satellite device that is sharing satellite feed connections from space and returning impressions of both video and still images of whatever the surveillance probe was scanning in Alaska and some parts of northern Canada. The surveillance probe has another device mounted on its left-hand side, which is a scanning array that is scanning the ground and water features around Alaska. This is an array device with multiple capabilities for ground and water penetration systems for scanning. Apparently, this surveillance probe was shot down into the water so that the civilians could not recover it, and the military has recovery rights for first salvage operations in cleaning up the crash site of the probe and retrieving whatever is left of the probe device. Alaska has the Alaskan Triangle area in the water with this interesting energy where there are several Stargate portals with points of entry and ancient pyramids that are located in the underground areas. So there's underground areas of the mountain ranges in Alaska. So think Bermuda Triangle, but there's also an Alaskan Triangle where weird things happen energetically and frequency-wise. So it's interesting that whatever this surveillance probe was scanning the regions of the water, the air, and the ground in the areas flying over Alaska and bits of northern Canada from what I could see in this remote viewing, because there's something interesting in Alaska apparently that this surveillance probe was looking for and sending even telemetry into space of what it was scanning. And as you can see, this is a cylindrical shaped surveillance probe, and it has multiple array systems, satellite connections and feeds, and it's the size of a SUV car. So it's not very small, not too huge, not too big. It is clearly a probe device. It's not a UFO, and it was definitely flying over Alaska and some bits of northern Canada, both over land and then heading over water as well, somewhat into the ocean. So this device seems to have a lot of interesting hardware on it from all sides. There is on the left-hand side a scanning array, on the right-hand side a scanning array, on the top sort of like a mini satellite system with returning biofeedback connections to more satellites in space, and another deployable radar scanning array on the bottom with several devices attached to it doing some kind of scanning. And it was looking for tagging, and so scanning and tagging targets, and also mapping secret facilities. So there's something going on in Alaska that has secret facilities, probably in the water, underground, maybe even under the mountain ranges themselves. It could have something to do with the Alaskan Triangle and the pyramids as well. So this is what the remote viewing is of this surveillance probe that was flying over Alaska in the Alaskan skies, and it was shot down recently, and this is what it looks like. So that's the remote viewing for it. Not sure exactly what it was scanning for, but it was scanning several things. I think it has to do with secret facilities somewhere in Alaska and maybe even bits of Canada as well. That's what I can see in the remote viewing.